Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anita and welcome to Anita's Library. Today we are talking about 90s books or early 2000s books that are worth the reread today. I don't know about you, but when I first got into reading years and years ago, these books were my vibe, like through and through. And they are Black stories written by Black authors. There are diverse stories, there's cultural stories. They are timeless stories, and I just remember loving these books. I remember loving these authors, and I definitely want to give them a reread now because it has been definitely over a decade since I've read these, but I've lugged them literally all over the world with me, and I just want to see how the current Anita feels about these books, and like, are they still giving me the same vibes as they were back in the day? But I definitely think these are awesome books. These are awesome authors. I would read anything by most of these authors, and I recommend you to do the same. So if you have interest in this type of content, if you like book content, if you like content about romance books, fantasy books, contemporary fiction, historical fiction, or especially books that are diverse reads of different bodies, different cultures, different races, different minorities in general, just marginalized stories, definitely consider subscribing to my channel before moving on, and think about that while you watch this video. Also, if you like this type of content, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and I hope you come back. Okay, first up, I had the book, the physical book for this, but I left it at my mom's house and she has decided to move to another state. So who knows where that book is now. But I had to get it again on my Kindle. It is Jerome Dickey's Milk and My Coffee. So I guess I'll talk about both of these a little bit at the same time. I also have Drive Me Crazy by Jerome Dickey. As you all probably know, he has passed on, but he is an iconic romance author. He also writes some contemporary fiction, or maybe even like mystery, not mystery, but just kind of sit on the seat of your pants type of books. But I think Jerome Dickey is so special. I love his writing style, first of all, but I also, as a person who loves romance books, I'm very interested in hearing about the male's perspective. A lot of times we'll read books that are romance books, but they're written by women, and they'll have a male perspective, like from the fictional character. So yeah, that kind of scratches that itch in a way, but at the end of the day, a woman wrote that. So yes, like, oh, he's my book boyfriend, oh, he does all the right things, he says all the right things, he's giving me all the feels, but it's because a woman's fantasy brought him to life. These books by Jerome Dickey, they are romance books written by a man, a Black man, from a Black man's perspective. And I've been trying to find that type of thing again outside of Jerome Dickey, just because I'm looking for more, you know what I mean? Like, I'm familiar with these works, but I'm looking for that perspective more, just to know and see and feel and read about love and romance and relationships from a male author. It doesn't have to be Black male author by any means, but just a male author. I would love to, but I also very much love that it is a Black story still. So these two particular books by Jerome Dickey are so special to me. So this one, like I said, is Milk and My Coffee, and then this one is Drive Me Crazy, and these are excellent books. Like I said, I read all these books I read over 10 years ago, and I still have them. I repurchased this one, obviously, so highly recommend those, guys. Next up, if you know, you know, I have the mass paperback version. It is loved. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've read this one twice. One of these books I've read 3 times. Another one I've read twice. So like, they're not one-hit wonders for me. I definitely stand by what I'm saying on these. But this is The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. This is a very powerful book. I don't know many Black women who haven't read this book. And it is a coming-of-age story. It is this Winter, the main character, is so resilient. She faces so much adversity, so much heartache, so much loss, so much loneliness, but she's so strong, and she's such a go-getter, and she's so strong-willed, and I feel like this is something I feel like this is something that many people can take something from. You don't have to be a minority, you don't have to be a woman to take something from this. It is a powerful book. I'm never gonna let this go. So this is The Coldest Winter Ever. Next up, I have Terry McMillian, How Stella Got Her Groove Back. I have a bunch of Terry McMillian. Terry McMillian, I picked How Stella Got Her Groove Back because I feel like this is a story that many of us are familiar with. And I like that this is a unique story because, and I like Terry McMillian for this reason as well. She writes stories about older women. She writes stories about women who were in their 30s, 40s, 50s, more mature women. Whereas a lot of times in this time when authors were writing books about romance or love or things like that, it's stereotypical Hollywood video vixen, like bam, bam, boom type of inarguable beauty, gorgeous, young, snapback type women. And there's space for those women as well, but these are real women. A lot of women who are reading these books can see and feel themselves in that because we're in that age group now, or then at the time. So I feel like she was writing to the audience that she wishes people did kind of spoke to more often. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm in this demographic, no one has anything for me, so I'm going to create it. And I really like that. So there's a movie about this as well with Angela Bassett in it. It's phenomenal. But I definitely recommend many of Terry McMillian's works because they are, again, out of that kind of genre of what you expect, like a young teeny bopper, fresh out of college type, young puppy love or like insta love type situations. These women in her books grapple with more than just relationships. They grapple with, family and children and careers and, aging and other struggles than just love. Love is a theme in the books and whatnot, and relationships are themes in the books, but it goes a step beyond in Terry McMillian's works. So I definitely recommend her as an author, and this book in particular. Finally, I have one that it's an urban romance. It is called Mina's Joint by Keisha Ervin. I read this book at least 3 times. This was my favorite book for a long time. I'll admit that it was very inappropriate for me to be reading the times that I was reading it. But I very much love this book. It's kind of unrealistic, kind of like I was talking about the stuff that was being written during the time Terry McMillian was writing her stories. I'm just give you a quick little glimpse as to what I mean. This person, Mina, at the age of 25, has her own full-service salon, Mina's Joint, drives a CLK 55, and is engaged to the mayor of St. Louis's son, Andrew. How realistic is that? What 25-year-old is driving a Mercedes-Benz and is married to, like, local royalty, I guess, if you can even call it that, being married to the mayor, or getting engaged to the mayor's son? That was such a far removal from reality from most people. And I understand there's a space for that, as talking about romanticities and fantasies, and it's fiction, and like, oh, I can dream, can't I? Yes, I do. Like I said, this was my favorite book for a long time, and I reread it several times. But there's a time and place, I guess, or a mood for when you want to read things like this and for when you want to read things like this. But those are just 5 books that I have. I have some more on my shelf that I've carried with me over the years, and I definitely want to reread them and just get a refreshed view of how I feel about those books. But definitely, if you have any oldies but goodies, old 90s books, old 2000s books, authors that you used to love when you were in high school, college, your early 20s, just revisit those, because I feel like it could be like a sense of nostalgia, or just revisiting like what it was like to fall in love with reading again. So I think I'm going to go through a range of emotions when I reread these. This is definitely a goal of mine to reread these sometime this year. I'm thinking reread maybe 1 a month. That would help me kind of balance out my TBR. But I definitely had a lot of fun filming this video. I'd love to do more like this. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!